Hey folks, and welcome to the Pipnotic Symposium for the 29th of August 2019. I'm sitting upstairs today, so it's a little bit windy, so maybe the sound of a draft coming through. Okay, so supply and demand. I say that word a lot, and I really try to explain supply and demand from so many different perspectives as possible. Just to try and increase the likelihood of the material resonating with the people who are watching it. The software does an incredibly precise job of bringing supply and demand areas at which to buy and sell to one's attention. But now I'm going to try like a bit of a different approach that I touched upon in the last symposium, which was the intra-candles as software, because this is really important, and I think it also emphasizes how the software works behind the scenes. Okay, so in the supply and demand software there is the greater period multipliers, and this is a setting that is telling the software what time frames it should focus on when qualifying supply and demand. And the intra-candles indicator that you all have access to is showing you, rather is allowing you to peek into the box of the supply and demand software by showing you visually what the software is focusing on. Okay, and I can't show both charts because the resolution that I have on my chart is quite low, because when I do screen recordings things get a little bit mushed. So I'll just focus on one chart and I'll show you what I'm looking at. So what we need to focus on is departures. Okay, so strong departures, and we're just going to walk through some pairs and have a look. Okay, so we have the Aussie US dollar, and here you can see the white candles, which are the hourly chart, which Philip asked me to focus on a little bit, so I'll do that today. We have the blue, which is the 4 hour, and we have the red, which is a daily. So we're seeing an incredible amount of information on one chart, and this is where the power comes in. Okay, so you have to look for a departure on all three time frames. Okay, this is what the software is doing. Okay, so here we have price rallying here. The daily bar went up, we had a little wick that went up, it closed, it came down. Then we have a 4 hour departure here. So when this candle closed, what is it showing us? Well, this is showing us that this 4 hour candle managed to close below the lows of this previous day, which is great. And this is what we're going to look for. So right here there would be a blue box just here. Okay, and this is important because this 4 hour candle was the one that was responsible for closing below the lows of the previous day, which is important. This is exhibiting strength, being able to do this. Okay, so you have this right here. Okay, so what do? Well, you look at the accumulation prior to the departure. We had the 4 hour candle here, and you can see here we have a tiny spinning top 4 hour, we have another spinning top 4 hour, and then before that we have this bearish candle which opened here, closed here. Prior to that, price went up. So we went down, the bearish blue candle, bearish, price went up, it came down, it span here. It was spinning for 2 4 hour periods, and then it cut away. So where's your entry? It's at the origin of the release. Here's the release. You can see we have 1 2 3 hours of bearish behavior. This is where you want to get in, around here. Okay, so super clear. If you enable this, you can see that it's just a really beautiful picture that you can see. So price formed this area, it cut away, it poked back into it, and it left the station in a real hurry. Okay, good. So we'll turn the intra candles off, the micro candles off, and then we'll go to another one and have a look. It doesn't require a whole lot of effort. You can just scan through these all you like. Okay, so here we have another one where price went up. We had this here where we had the first 4 hours, the first 8 hours, nothing happened, and then we had the cutaway. What does that mean? Well, that means the release happened on the 9th hour, the open of the 9th hour of yesterday. What does that mean? That means you want to sell here. Okay, here we have the push. We look at the candles, price didn't get up there, so this has probably been a missed entry. Okay, what happens if there's no setup? and you go to the next one. Go to the euro US dollar. What do we have here? Well, we have nothing. I don't like anything what I see here. The reason I don't is because we have the first 8 hours doing nothing, and then the cutaway. This is really far away from price, and so I'll just wait and go to something else that's closer. So I'll go immediately over to another pair, and we'll have a look what's going on. What do we have here? Well, what we do have is we have this up here. We have a daily. Let's zoom out a little. You have accumulation blah, 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 going on for a while there, and this candle closed. We had the open of this candle, and then we had 1, 2, 3, 4. So we had 16 hours of nothing going on. There's no trading, and then all of a sudden, boom, we had 4 hours with the middle 2 hours being very, very bearish going on there. And so what would you do here? Well, here you would look to sell here, like that. Okay, you go like that. Let's have a look at the candles within. Yeah, this one came pretty close, but we didn't make it. We only got just below the open of the previous day, so we didn't reach that. But I keep this order in, depending how price reacted on the first attempt to poke into this area. We had some wicks, and so I would probably allow this to continue. What I wouldn't like to do is to see demand forming below this area. If price moves up into this area and starts to accumulate, then I'd get out of the trade at a small loss or prior to my order being filled. Why? Because this is price rallying, accumulating positions to move through this area of supply. So I wouldn't leave that on if price did that. But for the time being, it looks okay. So I think shorting up there would be all right. Notice I'm not paying attention to the major flows. I can't really see a whole lot of information. Also, my screen resolution is quite low, so I can't see a lot. I can see the previous 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days of trading. Okay, so not a whole lot. Okay, so about almost 2 weeks of trading, but this should be okay. Okay, so let's go to the dollar franc, have a look. I get it on there. And here, where do we have a really big push? Here we have a really big daily push. Here we have a really big 4-hour push as well. So we had the second and the third hour of this 4-hour market period was very bearish. What do? You look for accumulation. You can see the accumulation. We have something going on here. We have a very small 1-hour spinning top here, and this is where we had price moving down very quickly. Let's zoom out for a little just so we can get a little bit more data. Yeah, this looks pretty interesting, but what I don't like is the wick that goes up like that. What's that telling me? Well, that's telling me that this is not supply, it's a reaction to supply, because this is the behavior of the market when it pokes into supply, when it meets willing sellers. Price goes up here, we find sellers, boom, and it races away. So let's have a look. What do we see? Yeah, you can see it right here. You can see very clearly that we have the candle that left. Actually, we had this order on, which I think expired, and the order was right here. I think it's in the room somewhere. We discussed this. So, right, and let's delete that, and now let's have a look and see if price got to it. That's a beautiful area. We covered this. Let's see. Okay, price didn't get to it. Good. We got close. I would leave that on, because look what price did last time it went there. So I would absolutely positively leave that on. Matter of fact, I'll just pop that in there now. So I'll go sell. Come on, the computer's a little bit slow. We'll kind of leave it on there like that, so we have something. My computer's doing something very busy, I can feel. I think I'm compiling something in the background, or some crypto or whatever, but this is what we have. Okay, right, and let's go here to the Euro Aussie. I was asked by a friend to look at that today, the Euro Aussie. What do we have here? What's this? Is this supply? No, it's not supply. It is a reaction to supply. How do you know that? Well, you know that because of the behavior of this bar here. So we scroll back, we have a look. What is it we're reacting on? We're reacting on this. Okay, is this supply? No, I don't like that either, so I'd probably move it up, and I would keep looking until I found something that I liked. If I have historical data that'll go back that far. You know what, I would stop right now because I'm having to go too far, and there's going to be other stuff that's closer, so I'll leave that. Go to another pair. Pound yen. What do we have here? What do we have here? Well, we have a lot of chop. This was nice. So we had the really big close. The origin of this 4-hour candle was right here. Price poked into it. We had a bit of reaction. Price pushed a little bit deeper. And that's what we're seeing here. Now price is kind of pretty happy moving sideways. We do have this, which I like. It looks like price likely already poked into it. So if we mark it off like that, I can hear a motorbike coming down the path, so there's probably a screaming 6-year-old here in about 2 minutes, so I'll cut this short. Let's see if price went up there. Oh, that'd be nice. That'd have been a really nice sell to poke up into that area. No, we haven't been there yet, so this could be quite interesting if price manages to move up into that area there. Okay, let's do one more before my son comes home. You can hear him. He's kind of like a, I don't know if you guys have ever experienced like a tornado or a tropical storm. You can kind of see it in the distance, and when it comes closer, it just gets really, really noisy and starts to destroy things. That's kind of like my 6-year-old. I can hear him getting closer on the motorbike, and then the destruction is approaching. Here, we have another one. This daily candle could not close. We had close, up, down, no closes, and then boom. So this is where we sell. Right here. Maybe do something like that. We'll have a look at the candles just to see. Yeah, that looks alright. We could probably have a go there. Pop that in there. Like that. Okay, so that's pretty much what I'm doing here, Philip. I hope that helps kind of illustrate like a methodology that you can use on the 1-hour chart. Essentially, I mean, we're actually on the 30-minute chart, but we're seeing 1 hour, 4 hour, and daily candles on the same. I think that's really, really profound information that we're having presented to us. And so just do this. I mean, walk through one by one. You look, you see here, there's nothing to do here, and so here you don't have to sit there and speculate. You look, you say, I want to see daily pushes away. Here we have some stuff going on. Here we have a rally, accumulation, push, price moving up to this area and then going down. Can you see here when you have a daily period of trading and you have price above it and then pushes back? This is telling you that we have supply higher. This is telling you that we have demand lower. So we're probably stuck in a range between supply up here and demand down here. That's what these patterns here, like price popping up, retracing, popping up, moving down, having to push lower and then retreating, going back up, and now moving sideways. Okay, so there's no supply here, there's no demand here. You have to look lower, and you're seeing a really clear sign that this is exactly what's going on behind the scenes. Okay, one more. Let's check out the American dollar, South African rand. I have a friend from South Africa, so I'll do this for him. What do we have here? We don't really have a lot. Let's zoom out a little bit. Well, you can see that there's nothing really going on. We had a nice trade here. It's already done. What does that mean? Well, that means the beginning of the sell zone is above the most recent push higher. Okay, so you don't want to sell at a price any more expensive than that, and price just keeps going deeper and deeper and deeper. Okay, so price is seeking liquidity to do what? To drive prices lower. We're not really seeing that anywhere here. Okay, cool. Well, I'll leave it at that, nice and short. Oh, I can see the microphones screaming because of the wind. But if you have any questions, throw them in the forum and I'll get to them. And thanks again for watching.